Hey everyone, it is 7:32. We're back. We have a new warning posted, so we're going to give you an update on that in the region. And that warning is going until, let's see here. That warning is going to go until 8:30. I don't anticipate staying all the way through 8:30. But we'll just do an update here and talk about where it's heading because the storm isn't all that impressive to me. The counties included in this, there's a sliver of Champaign County down to the south and east, but Champaign County's done. In fact, I think Champaign County done for the night here, even though that little sliver, if you live in Champaign-Urbana, you got that alert in your phone. It's for a little sliver down by Broadlands. Here we go. Douglas County, Coles County, Edgar County, that's where the main warning is now as this batch of storm pushes to the south. The warning is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and nickel-sized hail. Just shy of an inch. So the severe threat is driven by the wind threat here. What we're seeing is the outflow boundary has kind of lagged behind a little bit and caught up with the storm. So that can help those winds pick up a little more. So we may have some strong winds in spot from Tuscola to Arcola. We've had viewers report that there have been some strong winds in Douglas County. Murdoch, Newman, I've seen some reports in the chat on that. And so certainly we are seeing straight line winds only in central Illinois right now from these storms. Some of those clouds have been reported even in Tuscola moving to the west, this way, opposite of what normally happens. That rain-cooled air pushing out ahead of it is sending those clouds in the opposite direction from what's normal. It looks spooky. The lightning and thunder very high in this, a lot of it, and it's not anything of a concern, though, because of the tornado. There's no tornado threat. No tornado threat at all. So this is south of Champaign-Urbana. We are done in Champaign-Urbana. We are done in Danville, if you're watching. There was a little sliver for Champaign County that was included, though. Right now we're watching for Tuscola, Arcola, Murdoch, Newman, Oakland, Kansas, even Charleston, and Mattoon getting in on the action here for this severe thunderstorm warning. The warning, again, a wind-driven threat. Let's loop this back the last 45 minutes, and you'll see kind of what I mean when I talk about how the storm is kind of caught up. It looks a little more linear. That leading edge is right about here. And we've got a couple cameras in Charleston and Mattoon that'll have a good look at it. But there's definitely going to be some strong winds, maybe some small pea-sized hail in Oakland, near Tuscola, Arcola. I think the hail threat is over. And really for Edgar County, you can see how those bright reds disappeared. There'll be some strong winds pushing out from that collapsing of the updraft in western Edgar County. This doesn't include Paris, but it is west of Paris. There is a shower and a thunderstorm in the Paris area. The severe threat to me really is centered in Oakland and near Charleston in the area. Reported some strong winds in Villa Grove. Not surprised by that. We're done in Villa Grove, just some rain on the back side of it. I'm going to flip over to our sky cams because I want to show you that Charleston one. Look at that shelf cloud that's out in the distance. That nasty looking, gnarly looking, mustache-looking cloud. That is the leading edge of the strong winds pushing on into Charleston from our first mid-bank Flooring America iNet camera. And that's where that is a sign of where the strongest winds will be. Because it's pushing out so fast, there's not a chance for anything to spin up here. And we don't even have any wind shear to help out. So it's a straight line wind threat only in parts of central Illinois. So we'll watch it and keep you updated here for a little while longer. But I suspect Charleston, you're going to get some strong winds in that area, 40, 50, maybe 60 mile an hour here in just a little bit. Let's talk more about exactly who's in and who's out of the severe threat and then who's seeing storms in general. We do have a second warning for Fayette County. That technically is out of our viewing area. I'm not really concerned for that storm. It looks like it's collapsing, shouldn't last much longer, won't be an issue for Vandalia. But this storm here may very well bring some strong gusts of winds. Mattoon, Charleston, Humboldt, Arcola, Tuscola, Newman, Oakland, Kansas, right down here, Neoga, Mattoon Lake, Lake Paradise. The wind will still come on through. You'll get the shelf cloud rolling through, but the severe winds, I think, are more going to be a Charleston issue, but I won't rule it out for Mattoon. The actual city of Mattoon, not under the severe thunderstorm warning in downtown, but the warning, hoping our connection's still staying here. The warning does include areas just to the north and east of Mattoon. You know where that interstate exit is for the industrial expressway north of town to take you over to all those factories? From there north and east. The hospital, Sarah Bush Medical Center, not in it. The airport, not in it. It goes right up to Illinois 16 between Mattoon and Charleston. Illinois 130 north of Charleston. Some strong winds up there are expected here for the next little while. So this primarily is this one little cell, and you'll see some of these pinks starting to come on in. we had a cell pop up on the outflow boundary. The other storms colliding into it, and that may give us a little bit of a chance for some stronger winds. So this right now, I'm more interested from Arcola on 133 to Oakland and a little bit into western Edgar County. Brockton, Redmond, Dudley, areas west of Paris, just some light rain, some gusty winds in that area. The heaviest rain, maybe a little small hail mixing in from Hinesboro to Bushton to Oakland areas. And that strong wind, that leading edge now, is going to be out ahead of it a little bit, where we saw that shelf cloud on the camera. So down by the Lake Mattoon, Lake Paradise areas, you'll get some wind, but maybe not severe winds. I think that might be more to the east, but you'll see some gusts of 40, 45 miles an hour. If you're out in the lake, it's not a good time to be there. We'll just say that. But you can see the storm coming. Again, checking out the camera in Charleston. I'll bring it full screen. It's an impressive shot here. There it is, that shelf cloud rolling in quickly here into the city of Charleston, and that's where the strongest winds will be. Now, it looks gnarly. There's a lot of raggedy-looking clouds there, but I don't expect any tornadic weather. That's not what this is. The rain-cooled air pushes out. This is straight-line winds. Straight-line winds can still do some significant damage, and we've had some reports of some significant tree damage in Rankin, Buckley, Loda, up towards Gilman, and that has been problematic. Power outages. There's been power outages in Champaign-Urbana from this batch of storms as it pushes to the south. It looks like this storm caught up with the outflow boundary and may help to push out a little more of a gust of wind in that area. So we're watching it. We're keeping you updated here. Looking at things, I'm less worried about Edgar County. I really think western Edgar County is primarily a wind threat. In fact, the latest update just came in. You heard that ding there. That's the updates from the National Weather Service. They have dropped the warning for Edgar County, and they've dropped Champaign County, rightfully so. It's south of 36. I'm not sure why Champaign County really was included in it. In fact, you know what's happening here. Let me do something real quick. I'm going to switch this over to a different product because I think you're going to be able to see a little better here what I mean by outflow boundaries in parts of the area. So here we go. Notice here those white lines that are racing together. One's coming through Sullivan and Lovington. We may very well see more storm development in Moultrie County as those boundaries collide with one another. And that may help us also with developing more storms in the Mattoon, Charleston areas. Sometimes when those boundaries collide into each other, you can see rapid development of storms on there. There's a lot of lift. Stuff has to go up. So we'll watch and keep an eye on the, I believe it's 120, Illinois 121 corridor from Decatur to Mattoon. We may see some more storms pop up there, but you'll see where that outflow boundary came off of. Came off of that storm that's still warned in northern Fayette County. Actually, that warning's been dropped. So one warning, Douglas and Coles County. It's been trimmed back. These outflow boundaries are what's telling for the day and how things are going. Now, pretty much Logan County, Piatt County, Champaign-Vermilion County, all done for the night. The rain-cooled air has won out. We're finished. Now we're south of 36 from Decatur, Tuscola, Paris, and points to the south and east. There's still going to be some thunder in there, but you can see those white lines. That's those outflow boundaries which help with the strong winds in the area. So we're looking at a different radar product, and we like to look at different products here. Wrong graphic. We don't need to worry about that. I clicked the wrong button. I'm so sorry. Here we go. There are no tornado warnings, just a severe thunderstorm warning. What I want to do is bring back the GR program real quick. Pop that in because I want to take a look at something else here to kind of get an idea. So yeah, we're looking for some of these reds and greens. You can see that leading edge of red right in here coming into Humboldt just north of Charleston. That is where the straight line outflow winds are coming from. That green there, an indication of more of a downburst signature to me than it is anything else. And that's what we're seeing here. We'll pop that sky cam up. I bet it looks pretty impressive now. Yeah, that shelf cloud rolling on in. I wish I could turn this. I can't, but it looks very raggedy. There's a lot of rain further behind, but the wind will start first, and that's moving into Charleston here pretty quickly. Areas of Charleston probably going to see the highest winds. There'll still be some gusts of wind in the Mattoon area, maybe to the south. We'll watch it, but the warning is for northeastern Coles, southern Douglas County, with that leading edge of wind there. Interested in Hinesboro, the Raritan area, Oakland, primarily for this particular cell. So that's what we're watching, and we're going to watch this camera for a little bit here. I'm checking the reports. I have no damage reports from the National Weather Service for this particular storm. As far as storm reports, dark and windy in Tuscola, Georgetown, Vermilion County, all finished. There's some scattered outages in Tuscola, scattered outages in Champaign County, some scattered outages in Iroquois, Vermilion County. We know Savoy's out of power. Look at that lightning. Pretty impressive there. But Champaign, Vermilion, Piatt, DeWitt, McLean, Livingston, Ford, Iroquois County, all done for the day. Really, it's Southern Douglas, Coles, Edgar, Clark, Cumberland County, downstream, and maybe a few other spots in there. So we're watching this mainly for our friends in Mattoon, Charleston. If you have any photos or reports, you can post those in the comments. Photos, you can message us. I was hoping I would be able to get away and get a bite to eat and get some photos aggregated for the website, but we got that another warning, so we're right here. You see this low-looking spot right there, that little low cloud? That could scare some folks. It's not severe. It's not a tornado. It's disconnected. We call it a scud cloud. It's just kind of out there by itself. It looks raggedy. It's torn away from the storm. But it's still a sign that there's some turbulent straight-line winds underneath that. And that's likely coming into Charleston here momentarily as that storm just to the north of town by Humboldt up towards Oakland pushing to the south. Lots of lightning. If you're in Lake Paradise, Lake Mattoon, you might want to think about heading in. And if you're out in the boat or you know someone boating, they had some storms earlier from the Lake Shelbyville area to the south and east. So, we'll bring that full again. This is a great shot. Really great shot. Our camera network, fantastic here for sharing things and getting a view of these storms. So, folks in Charleston, we're going to watch that wind pick up here shortly as the outflow boundary rolls in ahead. That strong winds, Jessica saying, just getting started in Charleston. We could see some gusts of 50 to 60. And so we're going to watch it here and keep an eye on it. Tree down east of Urbana on 150. That came in from Andrew. Okay, got that in. So what you're seeing now is the wind should be catching up to our cameras shortly here. And as it does so, we'll start to see those trees move. You can see those clouds really getting close and carrying on in. Now, an ominous look, a lot of motion and turbulence there, but there's no tornado threat. But I don't want to discount the severe weather, the wind threat, that is, straight line winds, because that's very much a possibility here. In fact, I want to see if that bank camera, the temperature's at 74, but that rain cool there pushing out now. So we're just going to keep this up here for a little bit. Arcola getting a lot of wind and rain. Kansas area, it's dark, the heaviest rain to the north and west. Atwood area, I haven't seen many storms pop yet in the outflow boundary west of there from Sullivan, but we may. But again, we are all clear in Piatt, DeWitt, Champaign, Vermilion, McLean counties, all clear north of 74 for the night. We're now approaching areas from Mattoon, Charleston. Maybe Shelbyville still has a chance, Effingham, but I don't expect this storm to last much longer. It looks like there's some strong winds, pretty close to State Route 130, south of State Route 133, south of Hinesboro, south and west of Oakland. There may be some strong downburst winds in there. Humboldt got hit hard. Rebecca says that. Rebecca, if you have more info on damage, I think that was from the earlier storm. There was no warning on it, but we had some reports of some pretty strong wind damage in that area. It looks like Hoopstead area, bad too with some of these tree damage. Maybe seeing some chats about that. So if you've got any reports like that, let us know too. But some of our worst damage seems to be along Interstate 57 north of Champaign, up by Buckley, Loda, Gilman. 10 power lines were blown down. There's been tree damage. There's been other damage in that area. But this primarily here, trees starting to pick up a little bit on the left side of the screen. Seeing some of the Charleston Police Department rolling on by there. Still have power. That's good. But I suspect that lightning is impressive to see too. That wind probably picking up a little bit here in some spots, but I see some of those trees in the foreground that look like they're blowing around a bit. Probably 30, 40 mile an hour gust right now in that area, but nothing, you start seeing trees coming down and really rocking and rolling if you've got damage. A lot of lightning though, strong storm indeed coming into Charleston now. Evan's saying the wind pretty strong in Arcola as of now, not surprised by that. Based on where that storm is. Arcola, Humboldt, Charleston, Oakland, areas west of Kansas. Westfield, you're downline from this. The worst probably going to stay just to your west, but we'll be close to there. Close enough where we'll watch it. Kind of keep in mind. This is our last cell, folks. The last one we've got to deal with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it back over to radar real fast. We'll just do a quick glance, and then we'll go back to the camera, because if something happens, we'll see it. This one cell, that's it. You can see how this little batch is traversed, and it almost looks like it's kind of heading down I-57. So Cumberland County, Coles County now, probably the next in line. And it looks like maybe we're getting a little bit of back building here into Moultrie County by 136, by Atwood, Hammond, Arthur, Lovington areas, Sullivan. So we'll watch and see if more storms don't pop there. Those outflow boundaries have collided with each other, and that sometimes can allow for more storms to form. So that storm right now, severe thunderstorm warning, rolling into Charleston with that leading edge of wind. The rain will be delayed behind it, but the wind pushes out from the storms, and I'm not seeing a whole lot blowing around here. But there still could be some gusts, especially when you get the heavy rain. That's another area that can see that. So we'll keep this camera up for a little bit. Folks in Charleston area probably watching things. As I'm doing that, I'm looking at some more of these photos and videos that are being sent to my page and sent to the news page. It's great. Thank you so much for those who have shared these pictures. We know there are power outages in the area from these strong storms. Seeing some photos of the clouds in Mattoon, dark and scary looking, that's for sure. Ooh, that's a cool photo. So we're going to have some really cool photos. I'll put together a viewer photo. Right here. Bonnie's saying strong winds coming up at Sarah Bush. Yeah, that leading edge, that shelf cloud rolls overhead and the winds will pick up. Let's see what else here. I'm just kind of scrolling through these reports. Ooh. Okay, so I got a lot of different platforms to look at, a lot of different things to look. But we're watching the storm coming. Really not seeing a whole lot in the way of strong winds. That's a good sign. But when the heavy rain arrives, and that's coming too, there may be the chance for the rain and wind to really pick up in that. I don't want to discount that. No tornado threat, but the straight line wind threat can still cause some damage. You can get some trees to be damaged. You can get some minor power line damage. We've had all of that before in some of these areas with the threat for severe weather. So this is our one last storm we're going to watch and babysit for a little while longer. And then we're going to jump in and keep monitoring things. But we'll jump back to the radar here. Let me check here. Getting these photos coming in fast and furious from viewers. All right, I'm going to walk to the newsroom, and you probably still hear me talking. So I'll be right back. I need to go see if we have a reporter available to go check out some damage. So I'll be right back. All right, we're back here watching this. I just went into the newsroom to pass along a report of some trees down, see if we can't have a photog go check them out. I'm going to send an email here as well. There's a tree down on US 150 at Mayview Road east of Urbana. Okay, sent that. I've seen some other messages about that. We may get some photos of that too, but lots of rainbow photos coming in behind this too, so that's impressive to see. No tornado activity. There's no tornado activity from this. I won't stress that enough. But Champaign. Let me see if I can switch over cameras real quick. Turn it around. Because if that works, ooh, holy cow, let me tell you about this. I'm going to switch the cameras real quick. There were no tornadoes in Champaign. We had no tornadoes. The radar did not indicate that. And that's what we're going to stick with here. We got some modest clouds. Check this out. This is our studio camera here. The modest clouds, those, wow, that is incredible. Rainbow in the distance, the modest clouds are really going to be illuminated. Champaign-Urbana, we're going to get an incredible photo opportunity here as the sun goes down and lights up the sky. So there's going to be some pretty incredible photos here from this view. This is our studio camera in the area. Man, that is just fascinating. What you're looking at is that cold air aloft coming down, those modest clouds at the top of the screen. They're really going to be illuminated here pretty soon. I mean, that's an incredible shot here. So, you know, I just wanted to take a moment and look at that. And this is pretty peaceful here, very pretty. I grabbed a photo, so our photographs are going to be coming in. You know a photographer. You'd be ready to take some pictures, I tell you what. Okay, let me jump back to my cameras, and we're going to jump back to the Charleston camera, if I can. Having a little trouble here. There we go. In Charleston, things are looking just fine. We've got that last storm now coming on in. There'll be some gusts of wind. The latest is the severe thunderstorm warning continue for some 60-mile-an-hour winds on this storm. The initial line has been pretty low. And we'll get a radar check in here. We got to check the radar and keep an eye on storms just to make sure. But I tell you what, that view in Champaign could be really impressive here momentarily. So we're going to watch. I'm going to watch that camera closely, I tell you what. Sun sets in a little bit. You get the sun illuminating that. I mean, that's going to be a pretty sky. Okay. So there's radar, just the one storm in Coles County now, pretty much out of Douglas County, except for Arcola area, the leading edge now pushing onto the Charleston area, east and north of Mattoon as well. So that's something we'll continue to watch here with this warning. This goes until 8:30. And let me just fix that real quick. Zoom in a little bit so you can get some more images. We're just watching this last storm. This is it. I think what I'm going to do here in a few minutes is I'm actually going to wrap this up because I'm less concerned for Charleston. There may be some strong winds, but at that point, I don't think it really requires wall-to-wall coverage. It's not that I don't, we're not going to cover it. We're going to watch it still, but I don't think it's worth all of the coverage, here in a bit. So just getting some other things posted, taking care of things. So some of you sticking around, we appreciate that. We're watching the storm in northern Coles County here. It's got a shelf cloud, very obvious. The wind threat is there, but it's not as high as it was earlier today. Web export. Okay. Sort by. Try to get this photo posted. Kansas to Newman. Yeah, I think so at this point. I mean, there's going to be some rain still. The wind's picking up in Mattoon now, but I think the wind threat really still not all that obvious. They're probably going to keep the warning out of an abundance of caution, but I think you're good. Okay, we're looking at the storm in the distance. Okay, just got that posted. Now I need to switch to this browser. I need to Okay, so that's the latest. You know, we're just kind of babysitting this a little bit. I think what I'm going to do here is we're going to set the Skycam up, and then I'm going to go mute. And we're just going to watch the Skycam here for the storm coming into town. If I need to cut back into the audio, I will. And that's how it plays. Oh, way to go. All right, so I'm going to cut the audio here and wrap this up. If you're watching, we're going to leave this camera rolling for you so you can have a nice view. I've got a few things I need to take care of behind the scenes. I'll have another update probably around 8:10 unless I need to earlier. All right, we're back here. Just a quick update for you. It's about 8:04, 8:05. The storm now rolling into Charleston. The warning does continue until 8:30. There very well may be some stronger winds in that heavy rain coming on in near north of Loxton, north of Charleston on 1:30. It's approaching Illinois 16 now, and we'll move into the city of Charleston. Still some heavier rain coming towards Paradise, Lake Mattoon. So we'll keep you updated on that. But this is the last warning of the day here. There's a couple other storms trying to pop near Pana again, but areas from US 36 and north are done. It's going to include Springfield, Champaign, Lincoln, DeWitt County, Piatt County, Danville, even Tuscola, Chrisman. Paris is probably finished for the night, and Fort Iroquois, Livingston County. So just one warning now that we're kind of playing babysitting on. If you're in Champaign-Urbana and you're watching, you want to get outside real quick and take a peek at the sky. There's some incredible atmospheric optics that are out there, and we're looking for those viewer photos. I mean, it's just some incredible stuff here. We're going to have some great content here on the website soon. So that's what we got. So we're going to watch this. I'm going to set it back to the weather camera because I think the rain's going to be picking up any moment here in Charleston. Lots of lightning. I can't discount the amount of lightning this storm has as it's pushing on into the city of Charleston. The severe threat is mainly a straight line winds. I don't think we're going to see any widespread significant damage from this storm, but there still could be some tree damage and some power line damage in spots. So we're watching it here. We're going to keep this camera up and keep monitoring things, and going to check out some other content and get some things taken care of here, and look at some things because we've got some incredible photos of rainbows and more coming in from this. So, wow, that's a good one. Okay, there's that. Some great viewer photos. Double rainbows, crispicular rays, anti-crispicular rays, I should say. So just kind of watching. The rain really starting to come down there. If you're watching in Charleston and you're seeing something and you got something to report, let us know. Tuscola, pretty done. Homer, Danville, pretty much done. Still some rain lingering in Cooks Mills, but it seems like the main core of this storm now pulling into the city of Charleston now with that lightning picking on up. And so that's what we'll expect to see. I'm just glancing through some of these viewer picks and getting any last-minute reports, but it seems like this will probably be it for the day here. And a number of great photos have been sent in. Thank you to everyone for doing that, whether it's been through Twitter, whether it's been through Facebook, email. I got to check that out. I think it's that one photo that I... Okay, so this is on which one? This is on. Okay, rain near Charleston, we're seeing that. Really coming down now. This line now is in the city of Charleston. Lots of rain, lots of wind, lots of thunder and lightning. Some strong gusts up to 60 mile an hour possible. I'm not seeing anything yet from our camera booth. It's going to happen. If it happens, it's going to happen straight. Wind's starting to pick up in Charleston. You see the sheets of rain coming on in now. This is at the first mid-bank on Illinois 16. Heavy rains, some gusts of wind. Again, I'm not talking a whole lot. If you're watching in Charleston, there is some heavy rain and some gusts of wind. Could see some gusts of 50 to 60. I don't expect this to be a widespread damaging wind event for the city of Charleston, but certainly some wind gust could knock down some cause some tree damage, maybe knock down a power line somewhere. And so we're just hanging out here with y'all, making sure that things stay calm and tame and walking you through the storm. I'm sure some folks in Charleston now picking up. Ron saying wind taking its toll on the trees on 11th Street. And we may see some trees come down here based on that, or some tree damage at least. So if you have any of those reports, let us know. But that's some pretty good gust of wind. I'd estimate 30 to 40. Ron, if you're seeing that, if you're seeing some trees come down or damage, let me know specifically, and that way we can relay that report on. You're looking at that Charleston camera, and I'll switch over to the radar real quick, give you a view of that. But we'll be real brief on that. The core of this storm seems to be coming into the city of Charleston right now. That severe thunderstorm warning does continue until 7:30. You know, that core of the storm rolling into town now on Illinois 16, crossing that now, moving to the south. There's some wind and rain in Mattoon also. And I haven't shown Mattoon a lot of love. Let's go look at the Mattoon camera real quick and peek at that one. But this is about the only storm we have left to worry about. There's one in Christian County. Here's a look at Mattoon right now. No warning in Christian County, I should mention. We've just got the Coles County issue. So, you know, some of the stoplights rocking around, but really I think the better show is going to be in Charleston here from the area. So Lake Paradise, very windy. Power still on in Charleston, crazy wind in Mattoon. I'm not surprised by that. In fact, they did just cancel the severe thunderstorm warning for Coles County. So some of these wind gusts have probably close to 40 mile an hour, if that. If you're watching, Ron, if you said something about the trees, and Amy also in Mattoon, and if you've got any tree damage, let me know about that. I'd be particularly interested in, you know, branches down, limbs down, what reports you may have at this point with this storm coming on in. Seems like it's more a heavy rain threat. But this storm definitely has some gusts of wind. The warning has been dropped, though. A lot of lightning. There's going to be a lot of thunder. I'm not surprised by that. We've still got the lights on here at the First Mid-Bank and the surrounding area, so that's a good sign. The tree is still standing in this area, so you know, even if Ron, Amy, Bonnie, you say nothing and same thing, Judy in Charleston, no report is still a report. Hey, trees are fine, they're standing, no damage. That's something we appreciate too, just to get an idea of what's happening. Wall of rain in Mattoon, lots of lightning. This storm is a very prolific lightning producer. Big time storm, but the severe thunderstorm warning no longer in effect. This is a look from our Mattoon camera. Unfortunately, it's moving to the west, looking to the west, the storm moving to the south. So we aren't getting as good of a vantage point on this one. So Patty's saying Mattoon scanner reported a tree down. No tree damage in Charleston. Rain, thunder, and lightning, not surprised by that. Pretty impressive shot here. So the National Weather Service is opting to go with a significant weather advisory for eastern Shelby, Coles, and Cumberland County. The warning no longer in effect, but this storm may still bring some gusts of wind of 50 mile per hour and maybe some penny-sized hail as it proceeds to the south. Lake Paradise, Lake Mattoon, Neoga, Toledo, Janesville, Windsor, east of Windsor, I should say. Toledo, Greenup, eventually downstream. Jewett in Cumberland County, Fox Ridge State Park. There's probably some people camping out there in this weekend or in RVs. So, you know, those areas there. We've got some other storms that have been trying to pop up here. I'm not optimistic for them. It seems like they won't amount to much, and this is our last little cell here. So, Jessica, if you know exactly where that power line is down, afterwards, if you get a pic later and send it our way, we'll take it. You're fine. Stay inside. Some moderate rain in Charleston. Not surprised. The storm itself, the core of it now, seems to be moving to the south of town, but there's still some rain and wind there. If you're on the east side of Charleston by the high school, out that way, east of 130, lighter, more 316 here, State Street, and west on 16. That's where it seems like the core of the storm is. So EIU is kind of in this area. It seems like it's less there, more in the western half of Charleston with that heavier rain. So, all right, folks. So we're going to keep an eye on it internally here. I'm just going to put the sky cam back on, and I'm going to mute the audio. If you have any reports or anything like that, let me know. We're just going to be here for a little bit and have another update here probably in a few minutes. Okay, everyone, just wanted to give an update. We're going to wrap this up and call it quits for the night. Still some rain and storms moving on through, but we're going to get ready for the newscast at 9 and 10 tonight. I don't expect any more warnings. I think we're finished for the night. We'll have full updates for you.